Ellen again. I have another flower tutorial for you. This time I'll be showing you how to make this one right here. It is basically the flower I had up previously, at least I think it'll be previously, that has these little loops in them right here. But I filled those in so you can add some more color, gives it a fuller appearance, a little bigger. I think it looks pretty, very pretty, so we're going to show you how to make that one. We'll make this one now. You want to take your loom, offset pattern, have the lowest pin bar and then go up. Just one loom. So we're going to start by laying the outside perimeter, and we are going to do a little bit of overlapping. It's not too much on this one, so just bear with me as we go along. But we're going to start here and go up, or to the left, and then go up that way, come back, and go out. So I will show you. Up this way, and then up two, to the right one, back towards you, one, and then over to the right and up a little bit, like that. Now we're going to fill out our starburst here, and I'll point out that if we just look at one of the petals here, see how we have, there's bands that overlap the middle of the perimeter of the flower. Those are going to be the band that goes here and the band that goes here. And then there's two middle bands, so those will be the ones that go here. So if you want to change any of the colors to kind of make something pop out, those will be the ones. The filler bands will lay next, and those are up here. But there's two that kind of cross over and then one that goes the other way. So it's the two bands that cross over that are the color up here, basically. So I'll show you. We'll start here, whatever color you want. I kind of want my perimeter to go into the center a little bit, so I'm going to do purple here. And have a little white throat to the flower. And then where the perimeter will grab on again. Like that. And then this will be our filler colors that we put on here. So from this corner, pull it up to here. And from here to the other corner. And then from here to that corner. Like that. So this band and this band are the ones that really show up in the top of the flower here. So we have that whole petal, but now we want to put a figure 8 end cap type deal right here. Then we're going to come back and lay our next petal. So we're going to go right over what we did before. So go up 2, and then this way, and come back towards you, and then make room for the starburst. So here's our new petal. So we'll lay our starburst bands like that. Then we'll lay our filler bands from here to here, from here to here, and from here to here. Now I'll do the figure 8 end cap I'm doing mine in my perimeter color so it kind of matches in. Then we'll start our new petal. Come back towards you and open up for the starburst. So we'll lay our starburst. Like that. One more. Like that. Now our perimeter colors, or not the perimeter colors, the filler colors, from here to here. There and here. Now our next petal. Actually, sorry, figure 8 end cap. I could have fixed it later because we would expose this before we actually loop this, but I'll just do it now. So now we'll make our petal. Come back towards you. And open up for the starburst. And then the starburst. Like that. Now our filler bands. Cross over. And the last one. And then we don't forget our figure 8 end cap. And we'll make our next petal. Up. Up 2. Back towards you. And open for the starburst. Now we'll lay the starburst. Like that. Now our filler bands. There and here. Now our figure 8. Oops. Now start our last petal. Come back towards you and open for the starburst. Fill in your starburst. Oops. Bad band. Like that. And then the filler bands. and our figure 8. There. So now there's what it looks like. It's a lot of bands, but I'm sure that you could individually make the petals and then connect them all together, and you wouldn't have to do any of the layering, but I think this is easier this way. I guess you'll have to let me know if it's too hard, and I'll try and come up with a different way to do things. So now I'm going to turn my loom this way, just because it's easier to work with. And we need an end cap here. I suggest 2 bands, double looped. I guess I don't. This one is double looped as well, but these bands are loose, so the center is pretty large. So I guess if you want the center tighter, you'll have to maybe even triple loop these, or just make sure you're using bands that aren't quite as stretchy to get a real tight center. The other thing is, of course, if you want to add a bead to the center, which I don't have one made with a bead in the center for this one, but if you want to add a bead to the center of your flower, I will show you how to do that. You're going to, any kind of bead, I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to triple loop a band over these 2 pins. And then later on we'll connect it to the other side through the bead. I know I have done like a double band, 2 bands through. It just really depends on the size of your bead in the center. You don't want to get too many bands wrapped around here, otherwise it won't fit through. So kind of keep that in mind. If you have a smaller opening, then you'll want something that has, you know, maybe you only can double band the rubber band. So my light went away. It's going a little crazy here, so I'll try and get that back where it needs to go. Or not. Well, it'll work. Okay, so I'm going to triple band, and I'm going to use white. Turn it back this way. So I want it to be tight in the center. So make sure that the bead is snugly in there. Well, maybe I'm going to triple band. There. It's only on there for a minute, but it's a pain. Alright, so do not add this if you plan to keep the center empty. You'll just skip this step of putting it on, and then we're going to eventually flip this over, and so you'll just won't pay attention to those. Alright, so first we're going to loom out our starburst. So go in through the end cap here and loom this out. Just pull the bands back towards themselves, the top one first. So just like that. And then come back to this end over, well, first we'll flip this over. So it's just captured by these 2 bands. Then we're not going to pay attention to this until we put our bead on. So now I'm going to come back to this end, and this rubber band here is underneath this one. So that's the one we're going to go to first. And you just want to grab that band, hold on to your figure 8, and pull it back towards itself. Come back up here, do the same thing with this one, and then just grab this one and pull it over back towards itself. So it's just kind of a little filler like that. Now we're going to do the perimeter. So it's the bottom band all the way until you get to here. Then you want to make sure that you don't grab the very bottom band or this. Actually, the bottom 3 bands you want to stay away from because those will be for the next petal. But your band that you want should be right on top. So when we get there, just make sure you pick the right band. Alright, so bottom band, just pull it back towards itself all the way around. Like that. And then when you get here, just make sure that you're taking this band and nothing else. It really isn't a huge deal if you end up accidentally looming one of the other bands in there, because we are going to take this whole petal off and flip it over. And if you have one of these other bands trapped in there, loomed in there somehow, super simple, cut the band that's trapped in there, that shouldn't be there, pull it out, and then put the new band back here where it belongs. So it's not, you're not ruined if you do actually accidentally grab the wrong band. Of course you lose one band, but I guess there's always bad bands. Alright, so we did the starburst, the filler, and the perimeter. So now here's our open spot. Put your thumb or something on there, and then take off this petal. And make sure you only grab the top bands. And as long as you got your thumb on there well, you can just pull it off. So now what you're going to want to do is take your center, which I probably should have made mine different for illustrative purposes, but take your center cap and put it over the center of your next starburst. Like that. So now what you're going to do is just come in here, loom out your starburst through the new center cap. Like that. And see, we're not paying attention to this band yet. We're just going to ignore it until we need it. So come back here and go through your figure 8 for this band because it's underneath, to do our filler bands. And this one. And then just this one. I know I could have done the layout in here differently, but I guess either it was a happy accident, but I really liked how this one looked, so, and that's how I did it. Alright, so you're going to want to come back in here, and we'll do the perimeter bands. So we want the bottom band, do that all the way around. And then, like before, be careful here. Like that. Push this down with your fingers, make sure it's down there, cover it up. pull this petal off. And you can kind of start to see what it's going to look like. So then we'll take our center cap again, pull it over the next starburst center, like this. And we'll grab and loom out the starburst. Like that. And then we'll do our filler bands. So this one first. And then this one. And this one. Now we'll do our perimeter. And be careful when you get to here. Like that. So now push these down and take this petal off. Put on our end cap back onto the center. And now we're technically going to be straight across from where we put the bands on for the bead. So we're going to do that with this petal. So what we're going to do first is we're going to loom over the band that's right here in the starburst. Then I'm going to grab a different hook. You need your bead. Put that on your hook. Grab your bands that you used over here. Slide them through your bead. And put that around the center starburst. Like that. So now you have your end cap on there. You have the bands from this petal that we left on there. And then you should still have, oh, that's a crappy band too. Alright, 1 second. Sorry, I don't want to go through all the work and then have it fall apart right away because the band breaks. Alright, so that's what it should look like. 2 bands up this way and then 1 this way. We already loomed this one. We now have our bead band on there. So you're going to go in here and you're going to loom out these 2 through the end cap and through the bead band like that. Then you're going to slide the bead band off, pull it to the side, and loom this last part of the starburst like that. So now I come back here and we'll do the filler colors. So this one first. Then this one. Gets off my hook. And this one. Now the perimeter bands. And then if you didn't have the bead and you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about that. pull these bottom bands all the way around. And then when you get to here, just do the top band. Like that. So that's what you have now. So push these down, cover it up, and take this petal off your loom. That. I'm getting a cold, sorry. Alright, so now just your cap band over the next center starburst. Then you're going to loom out the whole starburst. Like that. Then come back here and do your filler bands. This one first. And this one. And this one. Now do our perimeter bands. Just that top one. Alright. So push these down, put your thumb over it or something. And we have our last petal. And technically you can make this a 4-petal flower or whatever you wanted. Just wouldn't have to lay as many on the loom. So then take your center end cap, stretch it over one last time. Loom out the center starburst. Like that. Do our filler bands. And finally the perimeter band. Alright. So that is everything, all the looming for the flower. So now you can just take your hook, stick it in the open part up here, and take your flower off the loom. And what we'll do to close it here is want to grab another band. And then we're going to take our hook, stick it through the center, grab a band, put it on your hook, pull it through the center, and then you want to pull through all your bands. Make sure they're all on there. And put the other end back on your hook, and then bring the first part through the second part. Like that. And then just pull tight, not too tight or you'll snap your band. I've done that a few times. And then you just need to pull your flower fix your petals. And it's the figure 8 band that kind of goes goofy at the end, but I think it kind of looks neat, like little frills. Alright. So there we go. So, I believe those are the same flower. But I think that looks pretty beautiful. So, I guess I decided to do my little flower tutorials because I realized there just aren't enough flowers. So, hope you like it, hope you understand it, hope you're kind of getting the whole overlapping a little bit. Makes it easier to make lots of things, as you've seen so far. But this is my tutorial for my, I guess, filled in 6-petal flower, and I will definitely have more in the future. If you have any questions, always leave me a comment, or you can find me on Facebook and all that good stuff. So I will try to always help you with making the things that I make. But thanks for watching, and I'll have more soon.